Along the banks where daylight lies, and wheat gold fields make low replies, and larks stitch music through the skies, and winds turn leaf to silver wise, a river runs and runs above, past lilied reeds and alder bough, past bells of blue on meadow's brow, past stillness learning how to bow, and somewhere waits the thought of love. Between the willow and the wild, where water speaks in accents mild, and every thorn is reconciled to being thorn, to being child, the current keeps its vow of love. It does not hurry, does not plead, it only goes as rivers need, with patient, uninsistent speed. So should the heart remember love. And up beyond the poplar rose, where orchard scent in summer grows, a quiet towered silence shows, as if it held unspoken oaths, a chamber kept for tender love. Not prisoned, no, but set apart, a room built round a careful heart, a lantern cupped against the dark, the kind that still knows how to love. Within that room, behind the pane, where morning rinses off its rain, and noon comes bright and goes again, there hangs a mirror's silver chain that catches life and calls it love. Not life itself, but life in gleam, in woven shimmer, thread and seam, a safe translation of a dream, as if the safest way is love. She weaves not out of cold disdain, but out of reverence for her pain, for what has pierced and might again, for what the heart will not explain when speech would bruise the shape of love. Her loom is gentleness made wise, her silence not a stone but eyes that learned too early to disguise how fierce and faithful is her love. And in the glass the world goes by, the markets laugh, the travelers sigh, the shepherd wins his humble sky, the children like a bright reply that answer grief with simple love. She sees them pass, she does not scorn, she only holds her breath till morn, as one who keeps a rose from thorn, because she means to keep her love. Sometimes the mirror shows a face, lit softly moving at its pace, not asking entry, not a place, not pressing hope into a chase, a figure made of quiet love. And something in the woven air feels like a prayer becoming there, not choose me, no, just may you fare more gently into fuller love. For this is what I ask in truth, not conquest dressed as golden youth, not vows that clang like tempered tooth, not urgency that breaks its ruth, but spacious, patient human love. I lay my longing down like bread, not flung, not shoved, but simply set, a warmth the heart may not need yet may recall and call it love. Oh, Whitney's heart, I speak to that. Not to the mask, the practiced hat, not to the actress brave but sad, who smiles and lands with heart unclad. I speak to what is real in love, the shy enduring inward flame that does not beg to be a name, that does not make a show of shame, but keeps a steady aim at love. I would not strike your door with sound, nor storm the latch, nor shake the ground. I would be like the snowfall found by morning weightless all around, a hush that says, I mean you, love. I would not ask your fear to leave, I'd only ask it to believe. It may unclench, it may relieve its grip a little, near to love. For fear is only often care that learned to pray with guarded air. It is the body's faithful air, a watchman worn with too much stare, still trying to protect the love. So let it stand, I will not fight, I will not name it wrong outright, I'll only bring a gentler light, and let it see, this too is love. The mirror trembles, barely, then, as if the world were once again, as if a door long shut might bend its hinges back toward yes, and when it does, it will be done by love. Not sudden like a thrown-down gaunt, not like a fevered hungry want, but like a lantern in the haunt of winter, slowly learning love. She weaves the river into thread, she weaves the blue above her head, she weaves the things she's never said, the gentlest griefs that go unfed, and all of it becomes her love. Because your heart can be a loom, and sorrow too can make a room where meaning flowers out of gloom, if meaning is approached with love. Yet, Whitney, the cost of staying safe, not sin, not flaw, not moral waif, but simply this, the world's bright wave of touch and laugh can feel like chafe when you have lived too long without love. Not blame, no blame, only the ache of holding back what you could make of mourning, If you dare to take one step into the actual love, the reed beds whisper, not too fast. The river says, I flow, I last. The wind says, let the old be past. The sun says, you are not your cast. You are a living, breathing love. And in the tower something hears through walls built up of former years, a sound beneath the sound of fears, a slow remembering of love. For love that costs yourself is thin, it tastes of hunger, not of skin. It leaves you smaller than you've been. That is not love. Remember love. And if our lives are meant to meet, not as a lightning strike of heat, but as two paths that find a street and walk it honest, unelate, then let it happen out of love. Let it be simple as a seat pulled out, a cup, a warmth to eat. Let it be quiet, firm, and sweet, a dawn that doesn't shout its love. For I have seen the loud kinds fail, the trumpet promise bright and frail. I have seen intensity turn pale and leave behind a bitter trail where someone called it all for love. So I would rather be the calm that does not bruise you into balm. I'd rather be the steady psalm that hums, Whitney, you're safe enough for love. The mirror shows a distant road, a horseman under travel's load, a carriage with its shining code, a lily leaning where it bode, and all of it is threaded love. Yet in the glass, behind the gleam, a longing stirs, half awake, half dream, as if the heart prefers the stream to any picture of its love. Please remember, says the day's refrain, not as a lash, but like soft rain. Please remember, hums the window pane, the kettle's sigh, the clock's refrain. Whitney, please remember how to love. Not more than you can bear at once, not like a vow pronounced in bronze, but like a feather's small response, a tiny, brave recall of love. And if you look just once outside and see the river's patient pride and see how nothing has to hide, how even shadows walk beside the bright, broad proof that is my love, perhaps your heart will loosen lace around its own familiar face and grant itself a kinder grace, then earn it first and call it love. For you are worthy not someday, not once you've chased all doubt away, not once your wounds obey and stay in tidy lines. No, here, today, you are already worthy of love. Worthy in pause and worthy in fear, worthy in trembling, worthy in clear, worthy when you cannot appear as anything but human love. The mirror shines, the loom goes on, the afternoon becomes a song, the distance doesn't feel so long. When gentleness is made this strong, when gentleness is called true love. And I, who do not want to crowd, who do not want to be too loud, will keep my hope unclenched, unbowed, a candle simply meant for love. If ever you should step to shore, not by a curse, not by a roar, but by a yes you've saved before, a yes that opens like a door you do not have to fear, then love will meet you there with open hands, not tightening bands, not making demands. It will be steady as the lands that do not move, yet cradle love. And if your heart should choose to stay a while behind its woven day, that will be holy too. No gray of failure, only your own way, your own good timing, your own love. Some roses take a longer June, some tides return by different moon. Some hearts require a softer tune before they rise and sing of love. But still I send this like a prayer, folded in ordinary air. Not urgent, not a snare, just something gentle resting there. Whitney, please remember how to love. Remember not as marching drum, but as a home light left on come, whenever, later, when you're numb no longer, and you want your love. The river runs and runs and runs, past barley fields and patient suns, past stones that learn what water does, past all the endings we have been, towards something wide enough for love. And if our lives should join their course, may it be kindness, not by force, may it be quiet at its source, and brave in how it holds its love. So Whitney's heart, my final rhyme, not ending, only leaving time. I will not ask you for a sign, I will not turn you into mine. I will just hope, and call it love. Hope like a lantern near the sea. Hope like a door left unlocked but free. Hope like the simple wish that we may meet and gently learn to love. Whitney, please remember how to love.